A few fun facts about me. Not only am I a rare disease patient and activist, but I'm an artist as well. I enjoy playing D&D with my friends, and I'm a virtual reality enthusiast. I also very clearly like video editing. I was born with a rare birth defect called septo-optic dysplasia, which caused optic nerve hypoplasia and panhypopituitarism, and I'm missing the septum pellucidum, a thin membrane found in the midline of the brain. Septo-optic dysplasia is seen in about 1 in 50,000 births, and only 30% of those diagnosed have all three indicators needed for the diagnosis. I am one of the lucky 30%. Due to the optic nerve hypoplasia, I am completely blind in both peripherals, and what vision I do have is worse than that of a senior citizen. I have double nystagmus, which causes my eyes to twitch rapidly and in different directions. This makes it difficult for my eyes to focus, so headaches from eye strain are a common issue for me if I don't take measures to alleviate this in the form of accessibility features such as larger text or text-to-speech tools. Due to the loss of peripheral vision, I have special glasses with Chadwick lenses, which are designed to expand my field of view in a similar way to how side view mirrors on vehicles assist drivers. This helps increase the chance that I might see hazards which I might otherwise miss entirely.
So that basically is a optic nerve hypoplasia, underdevelopment of the optic nerve. Okay. And what we're seeing, we look over here, we see the nerve head. Now we're going to check the macular fovea area, which is in this circle on the scan. And what we're looking here on the green part, there's the macula of the eye. It's still formed there. It looks reasonably good. But the problem is this nerve is only less than half the size it should be, and it doesn't have all that additional nerve fiber coming into there to transmit back and forth to the brain. So that's what we call optic nerve hypoplasia, or underdevelopment of the optic nerve. And it can be associated with things like an underdevelopment of the tissue from the pituitary and the sulca and these areas in the brain, causing other interlogical changes and problems for patients.
Like the panhypopituitarism that I've got.
That's right. And we come over here, and that affects growth, and they often have to have growth hormones. Now here's the foveal macular area here, which looks reasonably good. The nerve is pale and slightly atrophic and underdeveloped, and that's a much smaller nerve than in the other eye, and so we lose some acuity from that. It can be quite varied. Some will have profound loss from this, some will have a moderate loss. The fovea itself, it's developed reasonable, but it doesn't have the amount of nerve fiber to carry the signal to the brain to get the same quality. And these traditionally cause a loss of the outer half of the visual field in both eyes, which you've experienced, and that's why I use the field expanders on the outside of the glasses to give you more field.
Yeah.
Okay?
Awesome. Thank you. Panhypopituitarism means my pituitary gland doesn't produce the hormones necessary to perform some basic day-to-day bodily functions. This has caused hypothyroidism, hypogonadism, adult growth hormone deficiency, and secondary adrenal insufficiency, which can lead to a potentially fatal complication known as an adrenal crisis. I have to take hormones in the form of pills 3 times a day and a daily injection to help sustain my body and keep me going. Treatment isn't a cure, and it's still not perfect. The hormones I take are synthetic and on a schedule, which doesn't exactly mimic the way that hormones are naturally secreted by normally healthy people throughout the day. As a result, I sometimes experience often debilitating symptoms like muscle weakness, fatigue, minor tremors, and brain fog, among others. Due to the pituitary issues, I also have a litany of other metabolic conditions such as insulin resistance and some vitamin deficiencies. When I was born, newborn screening wasn't as robust as it is today, so my parents were completely unaware of my condition until it became very clear that I was not developing like my peers. I was also very frail looking and kept getting sick easily, missing a lot of school to recover from recurrent upper respiratory infections. When I was 13 years old, they took me to Riley Children's Hospital, where I was lucky to be seen by an endocrinologist who was familiar with my rare disease. He took one look at my twitching eyes and developmental delays and suspected my diagnosis right away. Tests confirmed that he was correct, and I was able to start treatment immediately. The medications improved my poor health and strengthened my frail body, and while I would never effectively finish puberty, I developed enough to get by. Growth hormone injections gave me the boost I needed to not be classified as a dwarf, and as soon as I reached that threshold, I begged my parents and doctor to let me stop taking the shots, as they had become quite painful. I didn't know it at the time, but I wasn't injecting in the right spots, and that was causing quite a bit of discomfort. I remained off the growth hormone shots until around the age of 23, when the endocrinologist I was seeing at the time informed me that it's also important for adults with growth hormone deficiency to take the shots, and I risked developing complications such as congestive heart failure without them. I agreed to take the shots again, and they really helped improve my overall quality of life. Unfortunately, not all endocrinologists agree on the importance of taking growth hormone as an adult, despite the very clear research supporting it. As a result, it can be difficult to obtain coverage of the medication, which we'll cover in the next segment. Even with the help provided by hormone replacement therapy, my body is still not strong enough, and a disability judge determined that I'm unable to obtain gainful employment. I still have some good days where I have plenty of strength and energy to dedicate to my advocacy efforts and other hobbies, but I have to be careful and pace myself so I don't cause a flare-up of symptoms that can leave me weakened for days or even weeks at a time. I'm lucky to have an excellent care team, which includes the very endocrinologist who first diagnosed me as a child, an eye specialist who is world-renowned and well-educated on my condition, a nutritionist who helps to coach me on diet and exercise, and a general practitioner for the acute stuff when it arises. I see my endocrinologist about once every 6 months to once a year, depending on how well I'm doing, and I check up with my eye specialist once a year as well. Since I'm on Medicaid, all of this quality care is covered at no cost to me, which I am extremely grateful for. I don't think I'd be able to afford the care that I need without it.